the day. From Empower Field at Mile High in Denver, it's Week 15 of the NFL on EA Sports. We'll see Teddy Bridgewater and the Denver Broncos taking on Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL has us at the foot of the Rockies, just west of downtown Denver at Empower Field at Mile High. Today, we're set for a good AFC matchup between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Denver Broncos. And off we go from Denver. And we will not get a run back here to start. It's a touchback, and it will come out to the 25. And the Denver offense ready to take over for the first time. Get a look at their 8th-year quarterback. His first season as a Bronco, though, Teddy Bridgewater.
I like this guy, and the reason I do, he tends to stay on an even keel. Doesn't let too much ruffle him. He will manage the game the way it needs to be managed, take what the defense gives him, and then he can strike at times. Had a touchdown pass. Yes, he had an interception last week, but he found a way for his team to win.
Now a first carry for Melvin Gordon. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. The numbers a week ago for Melvin Gordon. 21 carries, 78 yards, and a touchdown.
10 touchdowns on the season for him, and I don't know whether these goals are written down. I don't know whether they're discussed amongst the team, but I do know this. Every guy who touches the ball as a ball carrier thinks 10 touchdowns is a nice round goal to try and reach in a season.
And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
Bridgewater. This goes to the tight end, Aaron Saubert. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line.
They brought in a heavy set on third down, and that usually means running play. But we have seen them throw out of that formation. And sure enough, they snuck the tight end out on that one. Wound up hitting him for a first down.
So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Here's Bridgewater. He completes this to Sutton. That catch good for only a couple. And he's already got 2 catches on the opening drive. They know he's going to be a handful.
And sometimes you game plan for that offensively. You want to make sure that guy touches the ball, and sometimes it just happens naturally. And then you change your game plan. When he has the hot hand, you keep going back to him because he's running routes with confidence as the game goes on.
Bridgewater's throw taken in by Sutton. And he'll go out of bounds right around the 40. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. I don't think it's a surprise they're throwing the football early. We expected that. They told us they were going to come out firing, but 4 for 4 on the opening drive. They like that.
They don't just like it, they love it, because now everyone gets locked in. Your confidence jumps up. Everyone's easy about what they're doing out there. And by the way, they're looking at the sideline thinking to themselves and expressing, let's keep throwing it. We're doing pretty well.
And that is no good. Hit it well from distance, but he couldn't work it back in, and this will remain a scoreless game.
Partner, doesn't seem like it, but that's a tough spot for a kicker. First drive of the game, and they're calling on him. He should be warmed up. He should be into the game, but sometimes it's almost like, oh, what, now already? Can't they put it in the end zone? What's going on here?
Yeah, he's probably saying, if you can't get it in the end zone, can you give me a 30, 40-yarder? A long one, and he can't connect. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Now Burrow. Got a man open. It's Chase. So the completion good for 7 there. And it'll be 2nd and 12. Burrow looking to pass. Open man is Uzomah. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And he is going to have a Bengals 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
He'll get this up to the 34, and a good lane opening up right away for it. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. The former 2nd-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. The numbers for Mixon last week, 8 carries, 51 yards, and a touchdown.
They've got a nice scheme going right now, and they run the football pretty well. In fact, I was talking with him on the field before the game, and he said he's starting to hear from the guys ahead of him on the rushing yardage total, and they want to know if he's going to jump up there and join them at the top of the list.
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. This defense for the Broncos, they were terrific a week ago in that win over Detroit.
And as in any game, takeaways are always a big key. They're always discussed on defense. There's an emphasis there. And they came away with 3 interceptions in that game.
Meanwhile, Burrow's throw taken in here by Chase. And this is going to be another 1st down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos 16. First carry for Samaje Perine. He will push his way down to about the 14. And Malik Reed there to bring him down. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. They keep it on the ground. This time it's Mixon. And he'll get about 3 just outside the 10, stopped at the 11.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
They'll break the huddle and come up on the 9th play of this drive, needing 5 yards on 3rd down. They're passing here. Joe Burrow. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And he has the 1st down before he's tackled at the 5.
His passing's been on point on this drive, hasn't it? Been very accurate, gotten the ball downfield, gained nice chunks of yardage. But now, in this situation, the field is really condensed, partner. So if he's going to throw the football, that would be pinpoint here.
And he is in. Touchdown, Bengals. With his 6th rushing touchdown on the year, 10th overall. And the Bengals are going to take a 1st quarter lead. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. So after the made field goal, here's McPherson to send this one away. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25. So now the second drive offensively coming up for the Denver Broncos. Yeah, they were in field goal range the last time out but couldn't connect.
And it's early in the game, so I don't think that the confidence just goes entirely out of, running your kicker back out there. But let's face it, some coaches have a little bit less patience for that than others. Let's see if they call the game differently now in terms of what they do on drives and not try and settle for field goals.
A gain of 3, second down.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
On second down, Gordon once more. And he'll get about 4 across the 30 to the 32.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
They'll try and run it. Here's Gordon. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down.
4th and short, partner. I mean, this would be a really risky call. Here we are in the first quarter.
On your own side of the field.
Own side of the field. But, boy, what a tone setter that would be to go for it and get it, wouldn't it?
You're gritty today. I like it.
I'm feeling it.
6-yard return after a punt of 48. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. The Bengal offense on their way out as we look at the playoff race in the AFC. Burrow going to lead up the Bengals here 1st and 10 at the 20. They have to be thrilled with that first drive that got them the touchdown. Now they'll be looking to make it a 2-score advantage here on the road.
And they spent all week in practice, in meetings, talking about taking an early advantage. Being the road team, going up a score, that takes the crowd out of the game and puts some doubt in the minds of their opponents.
And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
Well, the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And then the next breath they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up first downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have. They snapped that at 1. Now it's Burrow. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
Brandon, we saw these defenders flying to the football in their win last week, and nothing has changed. They're still moving around quickly and forcing incompletions.
Again, it's Burrow on 2nd and 10. And a catch right side by Evans. And he'll be out of bounds up near the 45 at the 44.
They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
And he'll power his way forward for about 4 yards there on the first down carry. Now a 2nd down and 6. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. From just shy of midfield. Burrow over the middle. That's caught by Chase. A gain of 4 last play. They double that here and get 8. So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 44-yard line. Burrow going to give this to Mixon. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. On the tackle that time, Shelby Harris.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
And he'll take this one down to the 36. Oh, now Hopkins slow to get up here. We'll step aside and get a report when we come back to Denver. 9th play coming up here on this drive. This is 3rd and a yard. Out of the shotgun, they run with Mixon. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first.
Well, they're currently the best in the NFL in converting on 3rd down, so it was no surprise there that they picked that one up.
And they've done it in many different ways throughout the season, Charles. Picking it up, running it, throwing it, just effective on 3rd downs all year long. And he'll get it down inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. 41 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries.
I hope we give enough respect to the big guys up front because they have been getting it done on this drive. The holes have been large, and they've been barreling through them, picking up first downs.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10.
What's the deal, y'all?
That's going to set him back 5 yards. Now they need 15 yards on this series after the delay of game. 1st and 15. After the penalty, it's Mixon. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. That's a gain of 11. Would have been a first down if not for that penalty moments ago. That was huge after being behind the chains on 1st down to make this 2nd very manageable.
Man, how much pride do you have in an offense on 1st down to get that kind of yardage? Because it actually opens up your playbook on 2nd down. You can run it, you can throw it, you keep a defense off balance. I like that phrase, stand ahead of the chains, and they're doing exactly that.
He's hit pay dirt a lot this year, but not that time.
Yeah, I'm tracking right there with you. You're exactly right. He's found the end zone plenty of times. No way I can find any fault with the call. He may not have scored there, but of course you're going to give it to him.
Now it's Burrow. Toward the pylon, caught. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. And yes, they want the points, so they will decline the penalty. No question there.
You don't think they spent a couple seconds mulling over what the penalty
I don't even know why they asked the sideline.
Not at all. When you put the ball in the end zone on a takeaway, take the points and keep moving.
McPherson now for the extra point. And it's good to make it 14-0. That drive a long one, spanning 15 plays. And it ends with a Bengals score. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback. The Broncos offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. They're staring at a 2-touchdown deficit. 14-0 the score as they regroup with 1st and 10. To throw, Bridgewater. Open man, that's Noah Fant, the tight end. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
On second down, they'll run with Gordon, and he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled them up throughout the game, because that was his longest run of this contest.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. This is Gordon. And boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
2nd and 10. Now Bridgewater. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Gordon. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. So they'll get 8 out of that completion. And that'll make it 3rd and 1. Throwing is Bridgewater. He's got his tight end Fant. And he will have the Broncos first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half, but I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They were starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. From the gun, Bridgewater. Going right back to Fant. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
And again, it's Bridgewater. He'll get this one to Patrick. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. Same result as last play, 14 yards and another 1st down.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago, because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
From the red zone now, Bridgewater. That's caught over the middle by Fant. A gain of 6 there on 1st. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Four yards remain for 2nd down. Bridgewater. In trouble, and he'll go down back at the 12. DJ Reader. He's the culprit, dropping him for a 2-yard loss. When you're down a couple of scores like this, CD, you can't afford too many plays that go in the wrong direction like that one.
Yeah, when you take a good look at it broadly, sacks are better than giving up an interception. But where they are on the scoreboard, they've got to get rid of all of that and just create positive plays for themselves in order to have a chance.
And they're able to corral him right around the 8, and that's short of the 1st down. They get only 4 that time, as that leads us to a 4th down. So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. From the left hash, a chip shot here. The kick by McManus is good. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. So they do get 3 points, but that's now 3 drives with only the 3 points. Not a ratio that's going to win you many ball games.
Not at all, Brandon. And think about it this way. We all know payoff is the key, right? And wouldn't we love to have the concession on every T-shirt that's been printed in football that says finish on it? Because that's the mantra everywhere. Got to be able to finish drives, put points on the board.
Joe Mixon and the Bengal offense ready to go back to work. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. Working with 2nd and 5 now. Mixon will try the right side. And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32.
That play reminded me a lot of a former teammate of mine. We used to call him the trash man. His ability to sift through traffic and make plays was uncanny.
And that's exactly what you want from your Mike linebacker. On 3rd down, Mixon. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage.
On 3rd down, that's a good job of situational football and understanding where the first down marker was and getting there.
We've got a 14-3 ball game with 2 minutes left in the opening half. Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman, both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth,
yes,
and he's miles away and smiling.
And happy.
And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. Handoff to Mixon. And he'll take this one up close to about the 45. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
And he is going to have a Bengals first down as they're able to move the sticks with a gain of 4 on 3rd and inches. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Burrow will throw. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And incomplete on the deep ball.
There is something to a game plan with trying to keep a defense honest. And with a guy with that type of speed, you do so. Send him deep. Try and throw some air under it and hope you connect downfield. On that play, they were unsuccessful.
On 2nd down now, it's Evans. And they'll get him down here at about the 42. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
That was a good run, and it got to the 2nd level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But the strong safety position ended up making the tackle. And oftentimes we call them a hybrid. Combination defensive back, combination linebacker. We saw the linebacker make the stop.
The Bengals going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now Joe Mixon. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them. They did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. From the left hash, this from 53 yards out. McPherson's kick is good. So we have reached halftime here, and it's the visiting Bengals out in front. As we send you on out to our studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman at REA Sports Halftime Report.
Okay, Brandon, time for a sprint to the finish, as it's time to get you caught up with what's happening around the NFL here.
You want the third quarter already? No problem. Let's do it. The Bengals set to receive. They have the lead and the football to begin quarter number 3. To return it, Darius Phillips. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. The Bengal offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. And they've got the lead, CD. What do you expect from them in this second half?
Well, I like what they were able to do on the ground in the first half because they had a lot of success running the ball, and I certainly think we'll see more of that. But I keep an eye on that defense, and I think their coaches up in the box will do the exact same thing. If they start to see one or two guys start to creep towards the line of scrimmage, that'll be licensed to take some shots downfield.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. From the gun to give to Mixon. And he'll get 2, maybe 3 up near the 37.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
A nickel set defensively for the Broncos here on 3rd down. Again, it's Mixon. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Now Pirine, and he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. 2nd down coming up.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
They had 3 yards on first down, just 1 yard there. On 3rd down, Burrow. They'll set up the screen here to Mixon. And, boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. The screen good for 6, but it's not enough as it leads to a 4th down.
And that doesn't have to gain big yardage to be an impactful play because if you can get those pass rushers second-guessing themselves that they might get hit with a screen, maybe you can wind up slowing them down just a step. And if you do that, that's a win for that play.
Needing the tough yards, they run it with their fullback. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. In lieu of the sneak on 4th and inches, they just say, give it to the big man to the backfield.
Yeah, fullback no less. Not many of those left in the NFL, but for those that have one, perfect time to use them, perfect time to get it done.
43 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. There's a throw over the middle. It's taken in by his tight end. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 21.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
Eluding the pressure right. This is caught. It's Boyd. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line.
And I'll tell you what, this offense is playing a little bit of keep away right now. They've come out here in the 3rd quarter, possessed the ball for quite a while, and they keep on converting. Nice pitch and catch there to set up the 1st and goal.
Off the play fake, here's Burrow. Flushed out right. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. Joe Burrow taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Bengals take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. So after the made field goal, here's McPherson to send this one away. And to no one's surprise here in Denver, that'll carry through the back of the end zone for a touchback. So the Broncos come back out as we give you a look at the playoff race in the AFC. They're down 3 touchdowns to this point, needing to put something together as they have it 1st and 10. They'll try and get the ground game going. Here's Gordon. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
Well, they certainly haven't been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They've got a chance to pin their ears back and get after him now.
Now here's a throw right side taken in by his tight end. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down.
Let's just make this one simple. Could he be any more open than he was on that play?
And they lost him going to the outside.
Hard to believe because you go through your accounting on each and every defensive snap. Who's got who, what defense you're in. That was totally a blown coverage.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
I know I'm an old defender, but I've got to give credit where credit's due. That was smart play calling right there on 3rd and 4. They didn't need to do too much. Just let their guy get out there and sit down in the zone. And they hit him for the completion for the 1st down.
Bridgewater on 1st down. And he's going to have the hook up to Sutton. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. On 2nd down, it's Gordon, and he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. They run it here with Gordon. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Now a 10th carry for Melvin Gordon. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. 44 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ball game.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
So following the run by Gordon, here's 1st and 10. They'll try to throw here now. Bridgewater. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived. And I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36. Trey Hendrickson, he's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues. 3rd and long now after the sack, and we'll see if Bridgewater has a response. Looking to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
And that'll bring up 4th down as his Cincy defense stands up on 3rd. And McManus able to put it through. And the deficit drops now from 21 down to 18. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
The Bengals set to take over. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves them with a 2nd and 3. Here's Pirine. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1. Now after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. We'll step aside and get a report when we come back to Denver. And I see an extra defensive back on the field. Little surprise here on 3rd and 1. Here's a give to Mixon. And he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage with a penalty flag down. This might push him back further. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. Now it's Burrow. Quick slant caught by Chase. And he is going to have a Bengals first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
Mixon with a first down carry. And flags come in as he gets forward for about 3 yards. Now let's check on the call. So that one will be accepted. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Oh, that's got to frustrate him a little bit because they nearly got to him there, and it would have been the first sack of the game. Instead, they're able to influence the release, and they did force the incomplete pass.
A hole to dig out of here, 2nd and 17. Here's Burrow. He's got his man. This is Tate. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
To the air again, Burrow. And this pass broken up. And the contact well timed there, and now 4th down.
As his old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out hot. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
And this will be taken at the 13. They'll call it a punt of 44 yards. The return was for 7. And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10. And the football going back over to the Denver Broncos. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that. And they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. And that is is going to do it for this third quarter of action. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Working with a 2nd and 4. Here's Bridgewater. Over the middle, complete. That's Sutton. And they work this well upfield across the 45.
I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
And across midfield he goes and into Bengal territory. 59 yards rushing for him now to this point. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, it makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. To throw is Bridgewater. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And the Broncos are going to have a 1st and goal as he'll be taken down at the 7-yard line.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Flush to his right. He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's 2nd down. Bridgewater to throw it. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. No.
A pass for Sutton is intercepted. Picked up by Jesse Bates. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 for a Bengals TD. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he returns this to the 22. And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. And their 4-game win streak very much in jeopardy as they go to work here late with a 1st and 10. Back to it after the pick 6. Bridgewater. This is the tight end fan. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield.
Well, this game is certainly pretty well over. They go ahead and mark it in the win column. But as a defense, they don't want to get so soft now that everybody just throws the ball all over the place against them, gets big yardage, and puts points on the board. They have pride, too, on that side of the ball.
Bridgewater now for Gordon on the draw. And he'll run straight into a wall of tacklers at the line of scrimmage. It's second down. Here's second and 10. Out of the gun, Bridgewater. Throw right side is going to be caught by Judy. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 27-yard line. A big play there on the catch and run. Catch number 100 for his career right there, and it's good enough to keep the chains moving. So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 27. Throwing, Bridgewater. And he will find his man Sutton. That's complete. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. Well, they had held him pretty well in check, but if you recall back in the first quarter, you said they needed to avoid the big play. He finally gets loose.
And the thing about it, it doesn't have to be a bunch of big plays. Sometimes one big play can be enough. That's why.
And he's going to be swallowed up and taken down. Sacked back at the 5-yard line. Larry Ogunjobi, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. So they've been in the red zone 3 times, and it's yielded just 3 points. Can they find the end zone here on 2nd and goal? Now they'll try the jet sweep here. And he's maybe going to get this back to the 4, but that's about all. Call it no gain that time, and now it's 3rd and goal. 3rd and goal, trying to make that scoreboard at least a little more respectable. Bridgewater. And this is caught for a Bronco touchdown. Tim Patrick, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Broncos are finally into the end zone here in this 4th quarter. On here, Brandon McManus for the point after. He's got it, and that'll make the score 31-13. So that a 7-play, 80-yard drive. And it culminates in a touchdown by the Broncos. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Bengals drive about to get going. Now, the previous drive they punted, but that was just the first time they've had to do so in this game.
And when they turn on the game film, the coaches will rant about this, right? They'll say, oh, God, we got to move the ball, guys. We can't punt the ball away. But they have to keep smiles off their faces because that's the first time in the game they've had to do so. They've moved it quite well. They'll overall be happy with what they've seen.
They keep it on the ground. This time it's Mixon. And he'll get about 3 here as he's out to the 30.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. And looking to put this game on ice in the 4th quarter, but still not afraid to throw it as they show there.
You want to play the game with confidence, and they have a guy who's in control right now. Their trigger guy, throwing it, they feel just as confident with him doing that as they would if they tried to run the ball and run the clock out.
A nice burst there as they'll get about 7 that time on the first down run. And I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he's taken down inside the 30. At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, Keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. On 2nd down, here's Mixon. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
And they will take a knee here. So 1st and 2nd down went in the wrong direction. They'll try to do better here on 3rd and 13. In the National Football League, Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you prime the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for the Bengals, they're not going to go quietly here as the win moves them now to 8-6 on the year. And they'll head back home next week to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Meanwhile, for Denver, the loss might knock them out of playoff contention as they drop to 6-8. And they will try to get back in the swing of things next week on the road. That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, find us on Twitter @EA Mag.